welcome to the channel, everybody. Today on today's video, we are going to install the Arcus front bumper by Ricket Ridge here on the 2024 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon X 4xe. We picked this up from Pat at A&A Auto Stores in Dallas, Pennsylvania, in case you didn't see that video. But before we tear into this, hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you guys can stay posted when we drop videos on our Jeep Wrangler. But we're going to tear into this, see what's all included in this box, and then we're going to get this installed on our Jeep. So hit that subscribe button, and I'll be right back. The bumper is kind of light by itself, and I'm assuming that's the outside shell. And what I'm going to do is just lay everything out here on the cardboard to make sure we have everything. Because one thing, if you do follow the channel, you'll know that, or our other social media websites, you can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, here on YouTube and Facebook. So we got a bag of bolts here. We got the bumper itself, and I'm just going to put all this stuff off to the side because we're going to use this packing again. So what we have here is what the bumper looks like. So I'm just going to lay this out here. So we have the bumper, some of the bolts that go with the bumper, the instructions and part list, and now let's tear into the hardware of this. It looks like the heart of this. And one thing is that we're also going to be looking for a rear bumper for this to go with this build. So if you guys have an idea of what would go nice with this bumper, hit me up in the comments below, and I'll definitely check it out and see what you have there, or what you're suggested. And it looks like we have another parts list, or another instruction to that. Some brackets and some hardware, some real small bolts and nuts and stuff. Here's some brackets. Some more bracketry. Like I said, we're just going to lay everything out to make sure we have everything and make sure this install is going to be a smooth install for us. Because we don't want to go ahead and get all this stuff powder coated and then turn around and not have the bumper work for us. So that's what we're going to be doing there. And these look like these are the brackets for the factory fog lights. So we're just going to be putting this basically together, see what's all out there, and see what we need to get powder coated. I know what these are, and I'll tell you what, these two pieces probably weigh just as much as all the bumper, the rest of the components here all together. And these bolt directly right to the frame. And these are the recovery hooks that are going to be up in the front. And this nice foam padding here is the winch mount for the bumper. Oh, and there is one other thing that we did get to go with this bumper. So let me grab that quick and I'll be right back. And to go with the bumper, we also got this part, which you guys are going to see here in a minute. And this is the grill guard that goes up and around the top of the bumper. So let me get this open. And this is our override. So this is what's basically, once the bumper installed, it's going to go up here like this. So that's something similar what it's going to look like. But you know what? With the powers of YouTube and editing, and just like this, we got our Arcus bumper all powder coated, and we did manage to get the stock bumper off of the Jeep and installed the winch back onto here. We installed the new winch plate that came along with the bumper. We got everything powder coated, and you're seeing what it looks like before we put it on the Jeep. But I'm going to bring you in here and show you exactly. We did have one problem with this, and I don't think it was anything to do with the something up with the winch and the winch plate. So let me bring you in here and show you underneath what happened. Here is the Jeep with this stock bumper off of it and the new winch plate mounted up to it. And as you can see where the bumper is going to mount to, and here is the bumper now, all powder coated up, just so you guys get a little sneak peek there. So the problem that occurred while mounting the bracket was that these slots for the winch did not line up with our winch bolts. They're actually 7.5 inches or 7.25 from hole to hole on the winch, and these are about 8.5. So it's an inch shorter, and none of the bolts for the switch plate lined up. I don't know if that was something from the manufacturer just didn't have the cutout marks correct on this, or being that this is a winch from the factory, which isn't worn, but they should all be universal when matching up here. But that is the only problem. Let me show you what else and how it mounted up. And to put this winch plate in, it's just 2 bolts here, one on each side, and then it all ties in here to the frame horns. And what I did was, instead of disconnecting the winch, I pulled the winch up and I set it on a board on top of here. So this way I was able to put the new winch plate on, and then I was able to measure the mounting brackets right here and right here. And as you can see right there, how it does not line up with the holes on either side. So I don't know if the Warren winch did a design change and nobody picked up on it, or this is specifically made for the Jeep bumpers, factory bumpers. I'm not too sure. So, well, that's the only problem we've come across so far in installing this. And while we're installing it, if we come across any problems, I'll bring you in, and we're gonna finish getting this installed. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Well, here we are in this part of the install, which I've only got in 4 bolts in here, and I'm going to take you guys back out and I'll show you a little trick. I do not have none of it tightened up yet, so this way I wanted to go over and show you guys what I did to get all of this installed. But now we are installing this winch protector on here, and it comes with these little rubber pads that you just got to put in here. It gives it a little bit of protection between the 2 metals, especially being that we got this powder coated. So that's a nice touch here. And if you guys are going to install this, just make sure that your brackets on the sides, and I'll go over that in a little while, are loose. So now we just want to line this one up. Like I said, it's not all tightened up yet, but it's on. And I'm going to take you guys out because there's something I'll show you, a little trick that I did on the other side. So here's what we are looking at right now, and it's definitely a 2-person job. which we did have to bring somebody in to give us a hand. And sorry, I just couldn't get them on camera. So here's what it is looking like now. Panning it out, I think it is adding a nice touch, which we're not finished yet. We got a few things to do yet here. And what I did was, I actually seen this in another video where you zip tie this to the bumper, which we tried zip tying it to the frame horns, and we just couldn't get the bumper up and over the hooks. So then what we did was zip tie this to the bumper, which actually worked out well. One guy was on one side, one guy was on the other side, and then we are able to just start these two bolts, which we got them pretty much well snugged. And another tip for you is if you can, put this on first, and it just makes it easier getting the bolts in. But we installed it afterwards, and yes, we did get all this stuff powder coated, because being on the 4XE, we were changing all the color of the blue on it, and we just didn't like the powder blue or the baby blue that was on here. And don't forget to feed your winch rope through here, because the first time we put the bumper on, we forgot to feed the winch rope and we had it stuffed back. But here is the side brackets I was telling you guys about. They're also powder coated, and this is where your winch protector or your little brush guard there bolts to, and we have this loose here. This bolt is loose right there, so this way that's how we were able to bring it up. But once we get it all tightened up here on the front, then we'll tighten up the brush guard, and then we'll tighten up that, and the other two bolts here will get mounted to the headlight or the fog light brackets. So the only thing that's left for me to do now, before we move on to the fog light brackets, is to cut the zip ties on this. And then fish these through. And the reason why we put the rags on the side here is to protect the zip ties from digging into that. But that's what we're looking at right now. And the light brackets, actually, here are the light brackets, and they'll go in there this way, and this gets mounted. As you can see there's the other nuts that will screw that. But we want to get our fog lights mounted to these first before we put these in, because it will be easier to just do that. And then I got to cut the old harness off the harness off the original bumper, and then run that, and then just hook everything up, and then we're pretty much well done with this. So I'm gonna get back with you here in a little while. The bumper is now all installed. Everything is hooked up. I tightened all the bolts and everything like that. But I want to go through a little bit to explain to you on how I did it and what was easier for me and how it worked out and stuff like that. But it turned out nice. Let me take you guys out and show you it. And there is the bumper that we are looking at. Like I said, this is the Arcus, or the Rugged Ridge Arcus, and we did have it powder coated. And like I said, here's the tow hooks that were heavy to install the bumper, and they go behind the bumper. And what we did was we actually took the hook and we zip tied it right here, and of course I put a microfiber towel here, and I zip tied the hook to here, and then we were able to put the inside bolts in on both sides. We lifted the bumper up, we attached the bumper here, and then we were able to cut the zip ties. But the fog light bracket is actually what's holding the other two bolts on. And once they were all in, we cut the zip ties, and then we went and mounted our fog lights in there. And these are the factory fog lights off of the Rubicon, and they do not fit this bumper. So like I said, this is a 2024, so I don't know if a 2024 changed their fog lights around, but like you can see here, here is one of the brackets hanging right here. And I was thinking about cutting that, but you know what? We're probably just going to get aftermarket fog lights, and I'll install these back into the factory bumper. And I just had to drill holes in the back of it, and then the back side of it here. And I ran my wire up and along there. And there's the bracket that holds the push bar on there. And then we installed the skid plate, the factory skid plate. Now the factory skid plate does not fit exactly right. You can see here there's a gap here, and then it comes up and it hits the bottom of the bumper, gaps out a little bit, then it comes back in, hits the bumper, and then it comes down and gaps out again here. I did put little rubber pads here to press that, hold that up against the bottom of the bumper, so this way we don't get any rubbing or any squeaking for now. But I am definitely going to check on getting the aftermarket skid plate for that, and see. I'm going to do a little research because I believe they do make the skid plate for this bumper, and see what it looks like and how it's all entailed. So there you have it. It wasn't that hard at all. It wasn't that difficulty. It was just the fact of trying to get the hooks on, and it took two people to do it. It was just so, it was cumbersome. Can one person do it? I'm sure one person can do it, but it was just as easy to get two of us to do it. We are going to be adding another feature to this bumper, and if you guys know what it is, comment down below. Because we're just not finished with the bumper yet. But comment down below and let me know what you think it is. Oh, and like I said, just use the zip ties. That will help you out. And come to think of it, we just nicknamed a friend of mine Zip Tie. Long story there. So he is now known Zip Tie. So the zip ties really do come in handy. Well, I hope you guys helped this video out, or liked this video, and some of the problems that I came across that you guys will tackle and avoid the problems. One thing that did happen was that when we were installing the bumper, my winch broke. I actually had it going back underneath there when I was trying to push the bumper on, and then I seen it hanging here. I forgot to feed it just through here, but that's it. But like I said, hope you guys liked this video. If not, maybe in the next one you will. Till then, I'm Joe, driving trucks and hunting bucks is how I roll with Wicked Fabz.